Welcome back to my channel. My name is Blair if you're new here, and today we're going to do the monthly reset for June. I'm filming this a little bit earlier than normal, which honestly I don't mind because quite frankly, one, I'm ahead of my bills based on my pay schedule, so I'm like itching to get the spreadsheet ready to go for the next month ahead of time because that's kind of the bills that I'm on right now. On top of that, next weekend is Memorial Day weekend and I have plans, so I didn't want to have to worry about filming this. So we're just going to do it like a week early. I usually try to do it the weekend before the new month. But let's get into the reset. I'm going to be doing some stuff on the computer, some stuff on my planner, and then as always at the end, we'll talk about a couple tasks that I decided to complete for the end of this month. So I'm going to jump into this and I will share potentially some screenshots while we're at it. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is the budget sheets. So as you know, I always add two tabs, one which will be June budget and one which will be my June debt tracker, which we'll talk about that in a minute, but let's get the budget part done first. Okay, let's go here. We're gonna do June budget. Impact and 16. Okay. We're gonna go back to May and just, this may be boring and that is why I typically don't show you my screen. I just kind of talk to you when we're all done. So June budget, same as it always is, nothing really spectacular there because, well, my bills just don't typically fluctuate, and any extra income I have, I've been putting towards debt, which is where we're going to move now into the debt tracker. Oh, I have to put June. All right, we're gonna impact. Okay, so now we're gonna go over to May. So there will be balances that need to be updated, but I don't have those yet. So as I've talked about in the past, I usually just highlight them so that way I know I need to update this. Okay, so debt tracker set up. We're getting close. I'm getting the one debt that I was focusing on to be paid off. So we're getting there. We're getting there. And then I guess I should tell you for the month of May, pretty exciting on the debt tracker. I did manage to get my student loan, the one I've been focusing on the most, below $2,000. I'm like, ooh, we're getting close. I'm like, if I can get that paid off here, I'm hoping in June, maybe July when I have my free paycheck. That way, when I go into the rest of the year, I can focus on the final credit card I have. And then I just have two major student loans, like balances left. And those I will predominantly, well, one of them I'd like to pay off next year. And then the last one's my government ones, which I'm sure a lot of you are well aware, they're kind of in like a forbearance right now because of COVID and stuff. So I am not going to worry about them. I want to focus on eliminating as much of the other debt as I can first, and then I will focus on that stuff last because that's my biggest debt anyway when it comes to student loans. So I'm just gonna take my sweet time on that one. But that is my budget and debt tracker sheets. So the next thing we do would be, I'm gonna actually do YouTube first. So for YouTube, I have a video idea sheet and then I do a sheet for each month so I can put in, what do you call it? Let's just copy that. My videos, my ideas, so I can kind of stay on top of it and make sure I do get them all done. So that's set up. That's pretty much all we're gonna do on YouTube. And then I've talked about it before, but I do like to use the iCalendar to put my work schedule in, just because I do have like a rotating weekend that I do work. And I just find it's quite a bit easier if I can put them in my calendar and know when I work. Let's see. And I'm sure you can see on here, farmer's market is starting to come up. And I was gonna go, but I didn't. I decided I was gonna wait until it got, I guess, a little bit more stuff out. Because the last time I went the first day it opened and they really didn't have much of anything. So I figure I will give it a little break and go a few weeks in when there's a little more product to choose from. All right, so that's the calendar, pretty much all. The only things that are significant coming up in June, obviously Father's Day, yeah, Father's Day, and then Riley gets to go to the vet. He is due for his annual checkup. Yeah. But this is a different annual checkup besides just a normal one, because he has to have his, like, be retested for heartworms to make sure that the treatment we did last year did take and that he is negative. So I'm hoping and praying that he does come back negative, because honestly, I don't think he physically could handle it, and I don't think I can handle mentally having to go through that again, because that was really, honestly, rough. All right, so the last thing I'm gonna do is in my planner, I'm just gonna write in the tail end of the rest of my bills. I already have like the beginning of the month, because those are the ones I'm actually paying with the paycheck that I'm on right now. So I like to get them in there right away, but let's go ahead and fill out the rest of it. All right, so digital stuff is done. My bills calendar is done. So let's talk. I want to talk a little bit, put this over here, talk about monthly goals, or not monthly goals, I'm sorry, my yearly goals, and kind of where I have hit, like, my accomplishments so far, because technically going into June, it's like halfway through the year. So I thought it'd be fun to go over the ones that I have completed and maybe the areas that I need to kind of pick up. So of my yearly goals, I have completed 2 out of 4 Bible studies, which was my goal for the year, to do 4. I just recently finished, I think it's called Fighting with Faith from the Daily Grace & Co. It was like on the book of Philippians, which was really good. It was quite insightful. So I did enjoy that. And then I've completed 6 out of 10 of the books I'd like to read this year. I think I have 2 fiction books. They're more summer reads, so I'm going to get started on those next. And then I have 2 more like faith-based books that I will read for the remainder of the year. Obviously I set a goal of 10. If I can read more, great. But in the past I've done about 8, because typically when you hit fall, I kind of trickle down off of reading so much, because there's so many like seasonal movies and activities going on that it just kind of eats up your time. Financially, I have paid off one of the 3 debts that I wanted to accomplish this year, and I'm so close to getting number 2 done. So I would say I'm on track, hopefully. The last one's a little bit bigger, so we'll see how I can do knocking that out the rest of the year. And then also I'm halfway to my savings goal, which savings really isn't, it's not a goal of like extra money. I've tried to consistently keep like an emergency fund of $1,000 in my savings. There's times that I've had to use it and then replenish it, so it's not been consistently at 1,000. But my goal this year was to try and get $2,000 in there, because I feel like 1,000 is not necessarily enough when something happens. So I'm gonna try to get to 2,000 before the year's out. I'm halfway there, so maybe. It's hard when your debt is like your number one priority, and that is like where my focus is. So I don't feel like I put a lot of extra money towards savings. So we'll see. We're gonna work on that. Main place that I probably need to pick up on a little bit is fitness. And as we know, I set a fitness goal or kind of rearrange my plan every month to try and find better ways to get consistent with that. I really kind of fell off the bandwagon with that last month Riley got sick, which kind of ate up a few of my days and caused me to not get much sleep, so it's hard to be physical. And on top of that, I ended up breaking out in a rash and had to take steroids to get rid of it. And it just didn't work out very well. I didn't get consistent. And as we all know, I did complete my first 5K at the end of last month. Obviously my goal this month is to complete another one, and I plan to do that Memorial weekend. I think it's like the Positive Vibes 5K, so we're gonna do that one next. I know it's gonna get better as time goes on, but I think I need to be more consistent in the running. One, it's good cardio for me, and two, it kind of prepares me for these 5Ks. So going into June, my goal, I have the Couch to 5K app on my phone. And for some reason I always start it and I get like 1 to 2 weeks in and then I stop because I'm doing other 5Ks, but I've always kind of wanted to work my way up to where I can like run consistently a 5K. Cause right now all I do is like jog for a little bit, walk, jog, walk, and alternate it. So I'm hoping probably next week and then leading into June, I'd like to do the Couch to 5K app. Like I want to go through the entire process. And that's like 3 runs a week for like 30 minutes. So that could be great cardio for me. I'm not going to lie, this could be a difficult challenge with the heat. I mean, today, for crying out loud, it's like 95 degrees. It is sweltering outside. So we're going to play that one by ear and see if I can do it. I might have to just kind of make it happen on the treadmill, which isn't ideal, but we might have to do it that way. And then I think I want to go ahead and do like 2 strength days where it's like a focus to the arms and the abs, because those are great places to strengthen for running. And then 1 day of like yoga or a walk with Riley at the park. He likes to go to the park for walks. I enjoy it because it's a little more slower pace. It's usually on Sunday morning, so it's just taking in nature. And then on top of that, yoga if it's like raining or something, because it's a great way to kind of stretch out the body, but it still takes a lot of strength to do yoga. Now for tasks, so I've talked about this before, well, every month. I basically try to pick 2 to 3 tasks of things that I've been saying I need to get done, and just doing them. So for tasks this month that I picked, one was to replace my shower curtain. It was just getting kind of dingy and it was just time to replace it. So this time around, I decided to get like more of a cloth one for the outside and then a shower liner on the inside so I can just replace the shower liner. I think that's going to be easier because as it gets dirty, I can just replace it and I'm not having to replace the entire shower curtain every time. The second thing was a Goodwill donation run. So what I do, because you guys all know, I definitely like to purge my house. I reorganize things all the time. I'm always getting rid of stuff. So the way I kind of do this is I keep a plastic bin in the spare bedroom. And anytime I come across something that needs to be donated, I put it in there. Now, I don't run to Goodwill, but maybe once a month, once every 2 months, depending on how quickly that bin fills up. And the nice thing about doing it that way is that anything that I'm even in doubt of whether I should get rid of it or not, I put it in that bin. And then, a month later, if I've never gone and reached for it, well, then I know it's definitely something to donate. I don't miss it. I didn't need it. So that kind of makes it a little easier. The last task that I had was to clean out the microwave. Obviously, I wipe the front of the microwave every time I clean the kitchen, but the inside, as we all know, it doesn't always get cleaned on a daily basis. And the fact that mine is above the stove does sometimes make it harder for me to see when it is dirty. So just wanted to do a really good wipe down of that, clean the glass plate in there, so that way it was all fresh, because it's been a while since I've done that. So those were the 3 tasks that I completed. And this is, my reset into June, trying to, I guess, get better mindset and goals with the fitness. and we are set up, I think, for success with the financial aspect. I'm excited. So close to having that second debt paid off this year. So I hope you enjoyed. Maybe this gave you some ideas of how to kind of reset and prepare for a new month. As always, I hope everybody has a blessed day.